Hello, everyone, and welcome to Cop Art Class, a podcast show. I'm your host, Poovan, and I am back today in this new episode to discuss about my post-match reaction on Liverpool versus Chelsea, first game of the season. A very end-to-end football game, lots of things to discuss. So I will get down straight into the post-match reaction. So my reaction towards Liverpool's 1-1 draw against Chelsea in our first ever Premier League match. A lot of things to be excited about in terms of our attacking play. In the first 20 minutes, we were superbly attacking Chelsea on all fronts. The counter press was very, very good. Our midfielders got on the ball. Excellent debuts for Dominic Szoboszlai and Alexis McAllister, which I'll get to them later. The front three were good in the first 20 minutes. If I can put it to you in, trying to be real with you guys. So in the first 20 minutes, first 30 minutes, we were really good. We scored a goal. Salah assisted Luis Diaz, a long ball from the defensive side from Alexis McAllister to Mo Salah, and Mo Salah, while attacking the front, he managed to find a pass for Luis Diaz, and Luis Diaz scored his first Premier League goal of the new season. It was a great start. Everything went well. We were counter-pressing. The way we pressed the team, we made Conor Gallagher look absolutely terrible in Chelsea's defense. Chelsea's midfield. Chelsea midfielders in the first half, in the first 20-30 minutes, they barely had a touch of the ball. We were very composed. Szoboszlai was very composed on the ball. McAllister was super cool as a cucumber, very composed, very calm. Dealt with a lot of the attacks that came from Chelsea's way well. He was apparently, the whole 4-3-3 formation was that we got the usual back four of Van Dijk, Konate, Trent and Robbo. We also had Szoboszlai making his debut, McAllister making his debut. McAllister apparently playing the deeper number 6 role. And then we had Cody Gakpo on midfield, which was a surprise addition to the midfield options that we have. Curtis Jones didn't make it into the starting lineup. He was on the bench. In our front three, we had to go with Jota, Luis Diaz and Mohamed Salah. So in the beginning of the game, everything was fine. The first 20 minutes, we scored a goal. Our attacking, our pressing, our defensive play was okay. There were a few instances whereby on the left side of our defense, mainly Robertson had a lot of attacks were coming his way, meaning to say that Reece James and Raheem Sterling were giving Robertson kind of like a hard time in terms of defensively. He struggled a lot defensively, but we need to put it into context that the system that we are playing right now is having Trent play in midfield. So he's going to be inverted. We're going to play a box 4 midfield with Trent, McAllister, Szoboszlai and Gakpo in midfield. And then we would have the 3 in front. So with that being the case, I think Robertson struggled a lot being a left-sided centre-back more than the usual overlapping left-back that he always is. Bombing down forwards, overlapping from Luis Diaz, trying to get crosses in, trying to play more on the attacking side. In this game, not so likely. He was a bit more deeper. He was very, very deep, actually. He played very, very defensively, mainly because of how our system is. So we need to put into context most of the time how our system works in order to understand how the team plays and how the players are playing. So Robertson in this game, he was tested a lot by Reece James and especially by Raheem Sterling. For me personally, what I would feel that Robertson has faced Raheem Sterling a number of times, and especially when during Raheem Sterling's career in Manchester City. So my question is, why be so passive in terms of our attack for Robertson? But then we also have to understand the fact that Trent is also playing in an advanced role, being as an inverted right back. He tends to go into midfield. When they go into midfield, you have the back three of Robbo, Van Dijk and Konate. So since that is the case, Robertson never really made advances on the left side of the attack. So it was mainly Gakpo and Luis Diaz trying to complement each other. There were instances where it happened, but then it never really materialized. I feel that Gakpo, in this game particularly being in the centre midfield option as in that position, he never really excelled, struggled a lot, got tired as the game went on in the second half. First half, he was good. He was getting onto the ball. He got more advanced positions, attacking wise. But defensively, his contributions were slightly low, because when you're playing in a midfield three, what would you expect from a midfield three is, since we don't have any defensive midfielders, we are playing a deep lying midfield role for McAllister. So in that case, there should be a lot of running, pressing, pressure, and a lot of defensive support that Cody Gakpo has to give to Robertson and in the midfield position for McAllister. As so-called, that's what you can put it that way. But in this game, we saw a kind of like a lack of support for Robertson. I think ultimately that's what made Robertson have a very, very tough game against Reece James. Because as you can see, as the game went on, and yes, we did score a goal, and then Chelsea equalized with Axel Disasi, their newly signed centre-back, from a corner. It could have been defended well, but then so on and so forth. Defensive deficiencies cost us 3 points. Yes, I would have be satisfied with us not losing the game, but those kind of defensive deficiencies and not knowing where the positions of the attacking players are, or regardless if they are defenders, when you are defending a corner, it tend to backfire. So I think in that sense, yes, we did make a mistake, and also we need to give credit to Alisson as well, who did absolutely well in this game. I don't know where we would be without Alisson. He's such an immense presence in the goal, on goal. He saved a few shots on the first half, in the second half as well. He made a very significant save in the second half. Almost got Ben Chilwell almost scored, but if it wasn't for Alisson, I think we would have lost this game 2-1. So in that sense, and then there were certain instances whereby Trent also, not only in the first half, he did play well, particularly well in the first half, playing in the midfield role, playing in the inverted role, as a right back, trying to track back as much as possible in order to defend. He did that well, but as the second half started, I saw a decline in his performance. There was a slight dip. He tended to make a lot of mistakes. Some of his passes weren't, the accuracy of his passes were going down. It was dipping, and it wasn't really up to par as to, he couldn't accommodate Mo Salah well. Hey guys, let's dive into the player rating. So we will be rating all the players 1 out of 10, 1 being the absolute worst and 10 being a world-class great performance. So with that being said, let's get to it. So the first player that we will be rating is Alisson. Like I said earlier, where would we be without Alisson? Such a fantastic talent, great goalkeeper for us. Saved our asses a couple of times in this game as well. Definitely, I would rate him very highly. I would give Alisson a 9. Probably more towards the line of being man of the match, because he was very not to say he never really had anything to do, but despite the issues that we are having it defensively, I think to have someone like Alisson, as reliable as Alisson, to be on goal and making the important saves, I think that is also kind of like the glue that sticks everything together in the defense. So for Alisson, I would rate him a 9. So now moving on to Virgil van Dijk. So he had a good performance as well. There were certain instances where he was very unsure as to either to to be very, very physical against a striker like Nicholas Jackson, who was kind of trying to be like a menace, who was disturbing Kanate and Van Dijk as well. I think Van Dijk did really well. He did make a few clearances out of the penalty area. Very, very influential as well. Currently our new captain. So for our captain, we would I think I would rate him at 7. Yeah, I would rate him at a 7. So let's go to Ibu Konate. Konate was very, very influential, like Van Dijk as well. Very, very composed, very physical, always on the ball, ready to tackle, ready to clear the ball. Anytime he gets the chance, he gets the opportunity. Barely ever made a foot wrong, and almost, not to say almost, he also saved our asses at one time when Nicholas Jackson was running open on goal against 1v1 against Alisson, and he had to be as physical as he can, and he had to run back with his pace and his strength, and he had to stop Nicholas Jackson at all costs. So with that, I would definitely give him a high rating. I think I would put him at a 7. And then now moving on to Robertson. Like I said earlier, he had not to say he had a torrid time, but then the Chelsea players gave him a very, very hard time, especially against Reece James. I think he struggled a lot because he never really had a lot of defensive support, especially from Cody Gakpo. I think I would put Robertson at 6. I think I would give him a 6 instead of a 7. I think 6 makes a lot of sense because the Robertson that we know always looks forward. He always looks for the forward pass. He always looks for the cross. He would absolutely overlap and bombard the left side of the attack. It's always attack for Robertson, and he never stops. And he never stops running. Even if it's defensive-wise, he runs all the way. So I love Robertson. What a player he is. What a left back he is for us. So definitely it stings a bit for me to give him a low rating than 7. But 6 makes it fair for me in this game and in this, looking at his performance. Now we will move to Trent. So Trent, a mixed bag of performances. Some positive, some negative. He did have an opportunity, which is an offside, but he did have an opportunity to get Mo Salah on goal. Definitely also was part of the play that caused us to score a goal against Chelsea. Defensively, he was okay. Not very bad. Not bad at all. Just needs more improvement because of his positional play. And also he tends to be very, he does a lot of mistakes. I think apparently he made a lot of mistakes in the second half, a lot of passing mistakes. Couldn't really find Mo Salah in the attacking third when he got the ball in midfield in the second half. Definitely should have done well. But all in all, he had not a great performance, not a terrible performance. I think he had a decent performance. So I think I would give Trent, I think I would rate him equally to Robertson. I think I will give him a 6 or a 7. I think I would give him a 7. I think I would give him a 7. It makes a lot of sense. Then we can now jump to Alexis McAllister. So Alexis McAllister, new signing for Liverpool, impeccable on the ball, absolutely cool as a cucumber, very calm, very composed. Always looks for the forward pass, always looks ahead at where Mo Salah or Luis Diaz are. Always had this knack for playing short, good, crisp passes. He doesn't waste time on the ball, and he's always calm. He's always relaxed. He's always has his head up. He always looks for the next pass. And the way he played today shows a lot about. He also has a very good leadership sense where he directs players on where to move, what to do. I think he helped Cody Gakpo a lot in his position as well, despite the fact that Cody Gakpo was underperforming in this game towards the second half, the beginning of the second half. Definitely more to come, more to see from Alexis McAllister, but a solid start from him in this game. and against a big team like Chelsea, more to come from McAllister. I think I would give him a rating of 9 for just as how I rated Alisson. I think he was very, very good. Definitely someone who I look at who can absolutely cement his place in the first team. More games to go, still the start of the season, but what a debut for him. A very, very solid start for Alexis McAllister. So now we jump into our second new signing and our debutant in this first game in the Premier League, Dominic Szoboszlai. So Dominic Szoboszlai, the number 8 makes a lot of sense for him. He was the number 8 today. Very, very, made crunching tackles, made solid passes. His passing accuracy was quite good. Made a lot of dribble take-ons against Chelsea midfield. Made Conor Gallagher look like some amateur player in the first half. In the second half, it dropped a little bit, but it makes sense because it's a high-pressing game. It's a all-out attacking game. Chelsea were also set up to attack. So that's what you would expect from Dominic Szoboszlai, but an absolute number 8 performance from him. So guys, moving on to Cody Gakpo, like I said earlier, the first half, first 20 minutes, first 30 minutes, 40 minutes, he was okay. He was doing well, getting into all the attacking positions, was supporting, was giving attacking support for Luis Diaz, connected well in terms of the passing between the midfielders with Dominic Szoboszlai and McAllister, but his performance ultimately dipped in the second half. So definitely I don't want to rate him too low, but the centre midfield position is not exactly Gakpo's strong suit. He can play in the wing, he can play as a false 9, but looking at the current situation with us having a lack of defensive midfielders, I think Klopp tactically switched to a 4-3-3 with Gakpo playing as a centre midfield with our 2 new signings. Definitely that's not what he would expect to do in the next game, but then I would hope to see more improvement from him in the next matchup. He played well, but definitely could have done better in the second half. So for Gakpo, I think I will give 6, which is fair in terms of looking at the way he has performed. Now we will move to our front 3, starting with Mo Salah. So Mo Salah had a moment where he got absolutely pissed at Jurgen Klopp because he got subbed off for Ben Doak. Rightly so, because he barely had a touch of the ball, or the Chelsea defenders had had a good moment. They had their moments against Mo Salah where they could defend him properly. They kind of knew the way Mo Salah would have played. He definitely had a hard time trying to get into the attacking third against the Chelsea defense. The Chelsea defense were solid in this. They almost went solid. They became solid in the second half. They didn't really give Mo Salah a chance to attack. They didn't really give a chance for Luis Diaz to attack as well. So for Mo Salah, I think I would give him about 7, mainly because he assisted Luis Diaz for the goal. And he almost scored his first goal in the Premier League. So with that, also, this is the first time Mo Salah hasn't scored in a Premier League first match day. He would score in every other match day, but this will be the first. So there's the first for everything. It's the first for Mo Salah. So I would rate him at a 7. So we go to the next one, which is Luis Diaz, our only goal scorer in the match against Chelsea. Did very well in the first half. Was always a menace. Always wanted to take on players. Always wanted to take on Reece James. Even Disasi as well. Was a very, very speedy runner, a very willing runner, always wanted to defend as well. Took the goal with composure, and he had an opening where Reece James couldn't track back. He had Disasi with him, so scored the goal. First half, he did have a few chances as well, but then didn't really materialize for him. But then he was more of like a bystander in the second half. So I think I would give Diaz a 7 as well with Mo Salah because of the goal as well that he scored, and for his first half performance, which was quite good. So I would give Luis Diaz a 7. Now we will jump to Jota. So Jota did have an injury scare almost towards the end of the first half, towards injury time. I think that was the main cause for his performance dipping in the second half. Barely ever had a chance on goal. Never really contributed anything in the attacking third. But in the first half, he was okay. He did link up well with Diaz and Salah and Gakpo and Szoboszlai as well. But I didn't really see the end product from Diogo Jota. So the injury was a scare for me as well. I thought they would sub him off. But luckily, thank God, nothing happened. He's fine. On to the next one for Diogo Jota. Wasn't meant to be in this game. I would give Jota a 6, mainly because of his first half performances, which were quite decent. I'm just trying to be fair with him, with every one of you guys. Let me know what you guys think as well. I've rated the whole of the first team. Let's go now to the substitutes who have appeared in this game. So it was Curtis Jones, Darwin Núñez, Ben Doak, and Harvey Elliott. Curtis Jones came on for Cody Gakpo. I think around in the 60th minute, 70th minute. Never really had much of an influence in the game. So I would give him a 5. Darwin Núñez, yes, he did have a shot right towards the end of the match during injury time. Almost towards injury time, he had that opportunity to score. He also had another opportunity where the Chelsea goalkeeper would make a blunder and the ball would go to Alexis McAllister and he would pass to Darwin Núñez, and Darwin Núñez would... What Darwin Núñez always does at that times, when at a time where you need calm and composure, he was a little bit erratic in terms of controlling the ball, and I think that's when the keeper would come and collect the ball. So it was a lapse in concentration from Chelsea, which Darwin Núñez didn't take advantage of. So I would give Darwin Núñez a 6 for that for his efforts, because despite the fact that Salah and Jota and Diaz were substituted, he barely had any chance. He was like a lone striker pressuring the defense. So I would give him a 6, and then we'll move to Ben Doak. He barely had any chance on the ball. Every time he had the ball in his legs, he would just pass it on and move on. He tried his level best in order to use his pace at a time where, towards the end of the match, tried to create some chances, but never really materialized. So I would give him a 5. And Harvey Elliott also, I would give him a 5 because he never really contributed much towards the game. So that is your player ratings for Liverpool versus Chelsea. So with that being said, we have come towards the end of the podcast show. Thank you guys so much for taking your time to listen. Do smash the like button. Please like, share, and subscribe to my podcast show and my YouTube channel. Definitely want to know your thoughts on the match. You can go down in the comments below. You can rant. You can give your intake as to how Liverpool have performed against Chelsea. Looking forward to the next episode. Looking forward to the next match for Liverpool. Not a solid start, but definitely a start whereby we didn't lose. So let's take it one step at a time. The team is rebuilding. Jurgen Klopp is rebuilding. All we have to do is believe in him. Let's see where this goes. So 1 point from this game, a fair result for us. Let's look forward to the next match and build on from here. So until then, take care. See you guys soon in the next episode. Signing off, your host Poovan. And thank you very much for watching Copa Ultras, a podcast show. And I will see you around next time. Take care, guys.